Amanda Started a Podcast is a podcast started by me. I'm Amanda. This episode, Kiah joins me to chat about being a weird kid, what we've learned so far about finding friends after moving to a new country, and how figuring out what you don't want to do is just as important as finding the things that spark joy. Kiah is such a talented nail artist, it's practically illegal to be this talented. She's originally a London girl, but now lives in Berlin. I hope you enjoy listening to us yap. Here we go. My entire life was like, this is what you do. You graduate, you go to college, you get out of college, you move to New York, you're never leaving New York, you're going to climb the corporate ladder vibes, fall in love and have 2.5 kids and a sick apartment in Soho. Out of nowhere, I'm like 29 and I visited Berlin and I came here and then I felt so inspired in so many different ways and changed my entire life. And I mean, as you know, I'm like still we're all trying to figure it out. So like,
for sure.
I just want people to know that every age you can start over, you can be inspired. There's no set life thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're so lucky to live here. There's so many, a million people that do a million different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's so sick that I get to meet all these people.
Mm-hmm.
I just want more people to know more.
Yeah, and be present in it.
Yeah. Just because you grew up in like this one town or this one area doesn't mean that you don't get access. You don't have to stay there. I want people to have access to like other perspectives.
True.
Something you said to me months ago, and I was like, I really want Kiah to be on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What you said to me the first time you did my nails, when you were like, I just fucking love doing nails because I literally make someone's day better.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And like how sick it is that you've been able to find something you love so much to do.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love making people's day. It's like, it's super cute. But I think it goes beyond nails as well. I remember when I came here for an internship type thing and they were like, write down what you want to do and then apply that to your job. And I used to work like at a supermarket on a fish counter. It was gross.
Did you cut up the fish?
Yeah.
And you put it on the scale?
Yeah, I used to gut a fish. I could gut a fish.
No
I
way.
could debone a river
Are you kidding?
beef. Yeah. I could.
Wait.
I used to be on cheese as well. I could do the deli and patisserie.
Kind of
I was
my
across
dream.
all counters. That was what I was doing before I came to Berlin after my degree. And I actually enjoyed that because you would see the same people over again and it was very like, you're right, darling, and you need 1 pound of beef. All right, okay, how's your day? And service is kind of shitty, but I enjoy service in a very simple way. And I think with nails, I get to do something that I enjoy doing and be creative and artistic, but also really make someone's day, have a conversation. Like if they've come after work, they're probably a bit tired. It's like, I'm not going to force you to have a conversation with me, but you can, be like, oh, it's fine. You can sit down now, relax. You're with me. I'm not going to make you chat about your day if you don't want to, but you can also do that too.
Right.
And then you leave with a sick pair of nails.
Right.
Or even just one color, but your nails look good and you can go for the next 2 weeks of like really like nice nails. Being like, that was a nice experience.
Yeah.
But I just want someone, if they've had like a shit day, to be like, have an interaction with me and be like, oh, like it's actually not all shit.
Yeah.
Like that happens to me a lot. And you just have that one interaction or you see something even and you're just like,
no, literally.
That's nice.
I used to work in hotels, front desk of hotels. Working in a hotel, people have to engage with you similar to like any service job. People have to engage with you, but might as well make it a pleasant experience.
Exactly, because then it's better for you and me.
Yeah.
Like I can also get something from you.
Right. When I went back to New York last, I was like, I miss the pleasantries. Like going to the deli and literally the guy just being like, yeah, so how's your day? Or just like starting a conversation, even if it's shitty weather and they're like, oh, it's shitty weather. Can't wait to go to Florida with me and my buddies always go to Florida. And then it's like, they're just talking to you. It's just like human interaction. I feel like those little things, like I don't know if I feel it so much here.
It's just yapping.
Yeah.
I love to yap.
We love to yap.
Yapping. I just love a little yap with someone and just be like, you're like, how are you? And like, I'm fine, how are you? And you're like, I'm fine, how are you? And it's just like this cycle. It's like, I just love chatting.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
I know, and that's like why we love going out even.
Exactly.
Like,
yapping for days. Literal days.
I think people get really caught up on like what their lives look like to others versus like do what you actually like, and that's when you'll be happy.
Exactly. And I think the people who really are good at hospo, like really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Really love it.
Flight attendants and stuff too. You know when you get one that just fucking loves their job? This woman, where the fuck was I going? This woman was so funny. She was like, all right, everyone, we're going to shimmy on by.
Love you.
Love you. And someone else was like, wait. I just wanted to, like a passenger was like, I just want to say something. Like I had you actually 2 years ago as a flight attendant and I literally never stopped thinking about how pleasant that experience was. And I remember I was about to go to sleep, but I was like, side-eyeing like that little interaction. I was like, that's so fucking cute.
So cute.
And you're making hundreds of people's days by just being like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. It's like when you're doing the things that really bring you joy, even if it's like, this shouldn't bring me joy, or like, this is a nothing thing that brings me joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where you meet the best connections, where you feel the best. My mindset was very like, work, figure out your life, this and that. And then when I got here, it was like a lot more like, no, you just need to go out a bunch and have joy. And I think this is a weird learning of, we're all doing life constantly and it never ends, and the work never ends on yourself either. So just fucking have fun.
Yeah. And it's even one of those things I feel like people always say it, and they're like, you can tell what you don't like if you do like a million things, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually so, like, that's such a worth it thing to say.
Yeah.
Because if you just do it, you may not want to do it and you may actually not like it, but at least you know not to ever do that ever again.
100%.
But rather than maybe like ending up in this space where then you maybe get made to do.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing my internship, I was doing it in social media.
Yeah.
I kind of was like, oh, this is a good kind of career step for me, like with my background in graphic design and stuff. I was like, then I can get into the art director space and this and that. But like this
your mind's already doing like the latter thing, and then I can
do that. Yeah. But I hated social media.
Yeah.
I still hate it, and I'm kind of like in this time in my life where I have time to do stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, social media, never.
Yeah.
Never that. And I could maybe get another social media job and it could lead to the ultimate goal.
Right.
But I'm just like, not wasting my time.
And why should you? And it's so inspirational because it's so easy to do, like, to fall into the things. Like, it would actually be easier for you because you have a sick resume in that space. But then you're like, fuck, but I already I know that isn't right. Like, I know that isn't it. So why the fuck should I? It's similar in ways to when you're dating someone or something and you know it's not like your person, but you're also like, but whatever, like, we can still hook up and snuggle sometimes. And it's like, no, you have to clear that space. And maybe it's scary to have nothing in that place.
Yeah.
But like, that's when the universe is like,
exactly. Yeah. And it was this Einstein thing. I love it. It's like doing the same thing over and expecting a different outcome is insanity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I may be a little insane, but I'm just not going to be sitting at a computer choosing social posts.
No. Like one of my first jobs when I moved to New York, I was working until like 11, 12 at night every single night. And it's like, then you're like hanging out with your coworkers and it's like this weird toxic, like work hard, play hard mentality or whatever. But like fucking be on my little laptop, sending my little emails, yapping in the kitchen. That was my dream. Like I was living my dream for years. I hate when people are like, oh, I could just never have an office job. And I was like, I wanted that since I was in kindergarten. I remember being like, I can't wait to go to my office. And I was so obsessed with getting a laptop. And like, I would walk around with my dad's pager and be like, I'm important. Like people have things like I got this pager. Like I loved it. But now that I don't feel that way as much anymore, or like my life has changed. And like maybe you thought social media would have been sick.
True.
And then you found out it isn't. So it's
I also love it that when my like dream job when I was younger, like one of them was to be a cashier. I used to have like a little cashier thing, and when I was working in my job at the supermarket, they were like, okay, we're gonna train you on the tills.
You were like, okay, calm down.
It's happening. I was so excited.
Literally
crazy. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's not my dream, but that was
but it's
one
like
of my funny dreams.
And it's also like I think the fun part of that is like maybe in a past life you were just like having the time of your life working at a cash register or whatever.
Yeah, probably stealing cash.
Yeah. Right. No, but just in general, I think that's one of the big things that I've learned so far. Like I'm only 30, but I feel like I keep learning so much and then feling like I know less because like you keep learning more.
This is it. It's it's endless.
Yeah. But like not in a scary way.
Not in a scary way, but in like, what more is there?
Right. I love that silly little quote too. You still haven't met some of the people you're gonna love most in this world. It's like, that's sick. My mom met one of her best friends, who's one of my favorite friends of hers. Like, she's amazing. When my sister was going into preschool, so my sister was like 2. So my mom must have been like 37, 38. You probably never thought you would make one of the best friends you ever. And then also during COVID too, she started like this little hiking club with a bunch of ladies. And now they travel like the world together.
Yeah.
It's like, you never fucking know.
You never know. My mom did this with her swimming club. Goes to her like cold water swimming. And then she's like, I'm at the theatre with them. Or she loves her little old ladies. You know what? Like getting older is fun because you do meet just like so many people.
And also I feel like you have less, I'm not dealing with that crap.
Yeah, true.
Okay, fuck it.
Yeah. It's like, okay, maybe you're not the person for me.
Right.
On to the next club.
I've been doing mental gymnastics about this idea
Mm-hmm.
for the past few weeks where I'm like, it's not that deep versus it is that deep.
Yeah,
it's
100.
like, what is not that deep, and what are things that are like, yo, that is deep, and I should fucking care about that, or I should actually be upset about that. It's like,
I
hard.
think it's like, I always say in my hearts of hearts, how do I want the outcome to be? And if I want something positive out of it, then it's deep enough for me to maybe address it. But if I'm kind of over it, then I'm like, okay, it's not that deep for me to put hassle into myself. I like a very stress-free life, and I'm just so lazy that I can't even be bothered to have conflict. So if this makes me get out of my bed, then I'm like, I'm over it.
You're like, if this can't be done on a FaceTime.
Yeah, literally, it's so true though. I'm actually like, I was always such a goody two shoes as well because I was too lazy to be naughty and to rebel. I was like, I just can't be bothered.
I'm like kind of obsessed with that.
Like, I'd rather just cuddle my mom than like argue her.
I'll fucking yap on about how good journaling and meditation is for you. And I hate that it's a hippy dippy thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish it was just a fucking mental health thing that like everyone knew about and was taught at an early age.
Yeah.
Because it's actually incredible for you.
I think it just keeps you on like setting intentions. And like that's what like manifesting and solo time, like manifesting works because you put it to the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
And you're just making small daily changes that you maybe wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm so bad. I think I'm definitely down the undiagnosed ADHD route. But like just stuff like doing laundry. But it's like, maybe if I manifest for a nice space for the winter, that's just me subconsciously being like, maybe I should do my laundry now instead of in 20 minutes, you know, and then those 20 minutes come and then, you know, I'm already on to my next task. There's science
to it. Like all that hippy dippy stuff is really just like, no, you're paying attention to your body. Yeah. And you're being 100. Aware.
And just getting on with people.
Or just journaling and being silent, actually thinking about what's, or just word vomiting what's going on in your head. Like, it's so easy to like, we love a yap. And I've done this to you a lot recently, but like, word vomit yapping, obviously you can do that, but like you still need to, you can't put it all on people. You have to like go internally, you have to think through your shit. Like, I don't know, like how
lie down, like I say,
lie down,
you just
girl.
gotta lie down sometimes and look at the ceiling, or just close your eyes and just be a little vacant for a while,
dude, for real.
And just let your subconscious think a tiny bit.
100%. Literally almost every single time before I sit down to meditate, I almost always have the same thought of, oh, this is just like dumb, I don't have time for this. But it's like, it actually changes my entire mood, entire day immediately. Even during sometimes where I'm like, I don't know if it's working today. But it's like at the end, it's like, no, it worked. And you're just going to have to do it again every day.
Every day.
Because the work never ends. I think that is a huge thing that I wish I knew when I was younger and growing up. That your happiness is up to you and no one else, first of all. If you're not going to do the work, which is maybe meditating, maybe journaling, maybe whatever, you're the only one that can change your circumstances. I wish I fucking knew that. And I feel like maybe a lot of kids are like that, or maybe what?
Just expect like everyone else to do it for you. Which,
or like friends,
to be honest,
or like
I think
whatever.
When you're younger, it makes sense because you're so intertwined with your friendship. You see them so much. And I think sometimes, like adolescents or people who are younger, you just don't know how your words can affect other people.
100% that too.
I think also you're allowed to let people's words maybe affect you, but it's like knowing that those words don't affect you, even though they have. You're allowed to feel your emotions, but then go put your records on. And then just be like, okay, I felt sad because my friend said that to me. And then you have to make the choice whether you're going to address it with them. Or you're going to be like, okay, I'm not going to let it, you know, ruin my day and fester or whatever.
But this is the thing. You can't control your feelings, but you can control how you act on those feelings. If you feel sad because your friend did or said this thing, how you react or how you treat yourself in return or treat anyone else is like the only thing you can control.
This is true. I think this is exactly what I was trying to say.
So the things that do live rent free in your head though, how do you handle that personally?
Personally, sometimes I'll take a nap. So again, you just shut the brain off completely.
We unplug the machines. Yes. Okay.
I take a nap. Do you know what I actually do, which I think is similar to journaling, but again, ADHD, so I haven't made a journaling routine yet, is I'll actually speak out conversations. So I'll talk to myself a lot.
Okay.
And I'll literally role play. It's kind of crazy.
No, but I did that this week for the first time ever. And I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I don't think I'll tell anyone about this.
Yeah, right?
But actually, it made me feel better.
So much. It's actually crazy how much it makes you feel better. Because you say it out loud, because I make up scenarios in my head, as we all do. And so I'll make up these scenarios and I'll have these things. I'm like, this is so poetic. I should write this down.
Right.
And then if I feel really like a lot of energy about it, I'll say it out loud. And then I'll try and remember what these poetic things I said were. And I literally cannot remember them. This has happened twice now.
Let's do notes app. Yeah. Shall we?
I think when I say poetic, I literally think it's like teenage girl.
No, but it's me. But this is the thing.
Teenage like me girl.
It's literally me too. Or I'll say something so dumb.
Yeah.
Like music is like music to my ears.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe. But you're like, bitch, who said this wasn't good?
Right.
Like,
and someone said it once, and,
right?
And the world went crazy.
Right?
It's like when you taste something good, it's like a party in my mouth.
Yeah,
great.
It is good.
Poetry.
I was talking to my sister about this too. She's trying to get writing jobs now to be a freelance writer, maybe work for different magazines or something. And she was like, oh, I don't know. I'm reading other people's stuff, and I'm like, not sure if I think that article's that good. I'm like, no matter what. First of all, people have opinions and shit, but no matter what you're doing, there's always going to be someone that's more successful than you, that's worse than you are. So that in and of itself makes me feel like everything's a little fake and you can just do whatever.
100.
So even if you had a little book of your high school girly pop romance poetry that you put together, people would still fucking buy that book. People would still say, wait, this is my favorite poet.
True.
It is like we're all fake making shit up all the time.
Yeah. It's also crazy in the sense that like now, because everything has to be monetized and everything is critically looked at. I don't know, maybe it was critically looked at before, but I feel like now, because there's so much like cringe culture or like this culture, and TikTok's telling you
and
this
core,
and
cottagecore
that core, and you're just like, what is going on?
Like, why does everything need to be labeled?
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe I just want to have a little think. And then
maybe I want to lay down.
Maybe I want to lay down, have a little think, and then make some dinner.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Maybe it's me moving here. Maybe it's just being away from like everyone I knew or grew up with, or like in the place that I was. Like not everything has to be that deep.
Yeah, true.
But then also you're like, but what are the things that need to be deep? Yeah, like this is my mental gymnastics thing. But yeah, no, I think joy and just doing nothing is, or like rest and whatever rest is to you, that needs to be taught, reminded.
Bed rotting.
I fucking need to bed rot.
Yeah.
Once a week.
But I want to call it something else. Bed rotting is just staying at home.
No.
Like, why can't I stay at home?
No, literally.
And like actually do nothing without being saying that I'm rotting like a fruit, like a fresh fruit. I'm actually just at home doing nothing.
Right.
Because I've got nothing to do. Maybe I don't want to see my friends.
Maybe I do have stuff to do, but I really need this.
And I don't need to do those things in this current second.
Right.
And maybe I'll call my mum in that time.
Right.
FaceTime a friend.
Right.
Watch how they got drunk in medieval times on YouTube, because it's one of my suggested.
I actually I feel like you're out here loving YouTube and you're learning things.
I'm learning a lot of things on YouTube. Knowledge is power, baby.
No, right? No, I just think it's interesting. Also, I love when I don't find something, like my hobby isn't necessarily like this thing, but talking to someone, yapping, and someone being really passionate about something and telling me about it, like that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
I love it. I love any sort of, Jude said this to me like one of the first times I hung out with him, and he was like, I just fucking love people that can put their whole fucking pussy into something.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, damn, me too.
Yeah.
Like if you're not gonna fucking do it, because you're not always 100% doing stuff, you have to be laying down sometimes. But if you're gonna do something, fucking do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, why not?
Yeah. Just go for it. And you never see where it may take you.
Having the ideas in your brain of how things should be, or societal norms, or whatever you think, oh, this is how it should be, or this and that. It's like, no, just go with what feels good. And then you don't know where you're going to lead. And maybe it's like all those silly goose people in Silicon Valley that like are like, I'm a college dropout, like Steve Jobs or whatever.
I love how they're silly goose people.
They're silly goose people. No, but that's like, why wouldn't they be silly goose people?
True.
Everyone's a fucking silly goose here and there.
They're probably quite delusional at the beginning.
Delusion,
still,
dude, delusion builds everything.
Dreams, yeah.
I just
That's
think
what
you
I wish
need
I
to
was
be
a bit
delusional.
more delusional, actually.
Really?
Yeah, like just delusional in terms of success. Like I was
But
saying
that's like
earlier.
nesting almost too.
I guess so, yeah. I think maybe I wish I was a bit more like that then.
Yeah. But maybe you just haven't yet found exactly what it is that you want to be doing. Like I'm so wildly delusional, not about everything, but about
Yeah.
certain things. But in my mind, I am not even delusional because I know it's going to work out and I know this is real.
See, I'm kind of delusional in that sense as well because there's so much admin. It's actually really scary. Sometimes when my thinking gets into, you have so much shit to do.
Yeah.
That's
You
when
get the
I have
thinkies.
to nap.
No,
That's when I
literally.
shut down again. But no, I wish I was more delusional in my creative life.
You just left the job.
Yeah.
You just moved and your life is getting sorted. And then there's going to be so much
Nesting.
more space. You're nesting and there's going to be more space
True.
to like do nothing and lay down. And that's when you get all of the ideas.
True.
When you don't know what to do, doing nothing is literally the most important thing.
100%.
And I wish I knew that.
And just not worrying about it.
Worrying and embarrassment are things that are just never helpful. Obviously they happen in your head or like overturning the same stone constantly. That has never helped anyone do anything. I was journaling this morning and I was like, oh my God, this is so annoying. Literally I wrote like, oh my God, this is so annoying that I'm still talking about this. And I'm like, thank God it's in my journal and it's just between me and her.
Yeah, right?
Like she is annoying, but no one else will know
No
about
one
that.
else needs to know.
Yeah. Have your little mirror fight.
Have your mirror fight.
Have your mirror fight.
I think that it really works.
No, it does.
It's actually crazy.
And one of my other best friends was like, if I'm like pissed, she'll voice memo rage for 5 minutes about it. If she's walking home from somewhere, like, she'll just rage about it. And then the next day she'll re-listen and she's like, if it still bothers me, then I'll say something to that person. But if not, she's like, the amount of times that I just delete them, just like getting it out in that way needed to happen. I'm like, that's good.
And I think also it's good to not be reactionary straight away because then
100%.
that person may have come to you in those 24 hours who pissed you off.
100%.
Or you may have another perspective after you've thought about it a little while and you're like, okay, I'm actually like so not, it's like such a non-issue.
The hindsight is 2020. It's like, well, I should have said this and I should have said that. It's like you won't have the I should have said that because you would have like not yet said anything.
And then that just creates a whole thing because you may have sorted out one issue,
Girl.
but there's still like lots of many things to be said.
It's wild because we're all dealing with all these relationships with each other, but you're also dealing with a relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
And people, I so quickly forget that you need to love you and do you things. And also, if you're not good, you can't be good to your pals or your other relationships.
I think it's ever changing as well, especially I think this is such a good example, like us per se, we met and then like we were kind of like acquaintances for a while and then we got like close and then you get closer and then, like it's always going like this with friendships. So it's always interesting. Also, you have to move with those changes and you have the same thing with yourself. Sometimes you feel super confident or happy and you're like, everything's going great for me. And then you have a really shitty week due like maybe from outside influences or even like hormones. Yeah. You're just feeling a little unbalanced. So you just have to kind of roll with the punches. And I think once you know that, I feel really shit. And then you maybe be like, oh, it's because my period's coming. And you're like, okay, fine. Or because this person did that to me and I actually haven't dealt with that yet. You're like, okay, fine. And you just get that little bit of relief and then you slowly work out to having a good week. So but it's just like, kind of like, listening to yourself. I could have never thought when we were acquaintances, I would never be like, okay, it's like one of my best friends. Like I wouldn't have thought, maybe I wouldn't have thought that. Maybe I would have, I don't know. It's another lesson. And you don't have to know everything that's going to happen. You don't need to predict the things. You just let things happen the way they should sometimes. And you can't force friendships and you can't force other things. They're going to happen the way they are. I think especially in Berlin. I wonder if I would be the same person now in London that I am here in Berlin. And I think the answer is completely like no. Yeah, me too. Because I probably would be like, I love my friends in London, but probably still just hang out with them. I meet a new person or we meet a new person like every week, if not more than one person every week. We're constantly meeting people and then meeting people that you've met maybe a year before, but then you spend the whole night with them and you're like, I want to have dinner with you because you're fun. And it's like, but also maybe the first time you met, like the night neither one of us were Yap Town girls. No. I don't think either of us left that hang being like, gotta have dinner with her, because like sometimes you're giving nothing, sometimes you can't because you should have laid down and you didn't. Yeah, you should have laid down and you didn't look after you, so you couldn't forge any new friendships. Exactly. But then you do have another moment a few months later where you're like, wait, I
do want to have
Yeah.
dinner with her.
Also, you just have that courage to be like, let's have dinner. Also
that.
even if you did see each other from across the room, you're like, we could have a nice dinner
But-
together, but you just,
Yeah.
there's no social cues to let you know that.
Well, that's a huge, I don't know if it's how you feel about yourself in London, but I think that's huge for me. I've always been outgoing and been like, oh, new friends.
Mhm.
But in New York, having been there for a while maybe, and maybe getting into this is where you're from, you've been here vibe,
Mhm.
versus here where I will literally ask anyone to hang out
Mhm.
because I feel like everyone's kind of in that space.
Yeah.
It's actually trauma bonding.
Yeah,
it's actually not
trauma, yeah.
friendship.
It's just trauma bonding. Exactly. Yeah, I think the same. In London, I was very much no new friends, or like
Right.
very happy with like my friends, and
Right.
I don't need to like meet anyone else. And if you were meeting other people, it was friends of friends, and they've
Right.
known them for years, but you just somehow
Right.
never crossed paths.
Right.
And here in Berlin, I came here, I knew literally no one. I was by myself. I
Yeah.
moved into a 7-person house because I was like, out of 7 people, I must like one.
Yeah.
And if I don't like any of them, I have my own bathroom. So I actually genuinely don't have to connect with anyone. And it was only going to be 3 months, etc. And I put in some work with some people that I found super annoying by the end of that work.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I may have been in living quarters of them. So I was like, okay, well, this is it, I guess. And then lovely, dear old husband Ned came and introduced me to some people. And then I was like, wow, there's actually like, people that I really get on with.
Yeah.
And then he also, this is when he was coming back and forth. So then it was like up to me to actually even do the work.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't even in Berlin to just follow around. When he finally moved again, he introduced me to lovely, like all of like this lot of people that we hang out with.
Yeah.
But by then, because I had done so much by myself, I was open to meeting. I wasn't this nervous person behind my friend, like, show me, give me all your friends too.
Right.
It was more like, okay, I have those social skills to be able to be like, hey, how are you? And if that doesn't work, if they don't want to be friends with me, that's fine.
That's no sweat off my
Sweat
back.
off my back. Like I can just say hello to the next person without like pissing my pants. 100%. I used to be so freaking shy. It was like so scary. Literally going to college was like so scary for me. I had this other friend and we would literally just be like the two freaks looking into each other's eyes like, please save me. I don't want to be here anymore. And we would like, in our freeze, we would go to either Starbucks or McDonald's. I kid you not, for 5 hours. We would just hang out with each other the whole time. I mean, it got better towards the end. And no one did anything to us. We weren't bullied. I was just like so painfully shy. And because she was such my support network, we would just chill constantly and then be on the phone to each other as we leave. We would meet before college. We would pretty much leave together and do all of this stuff. And I was just so nervous. So it's like coming here, I was like, hey, you have to do it.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy actually. Like my wallflower to sunflower
100%.
transformation.
Yeah, because that I would
still call myself a shy person. Like even when I was younger, I wouldn't leave my mom's side.
So how do you feel now? Do you feel more empowered by this sense of, it's almost like obviously you have to be like,
I think
like, just like going out and being like, hey.
Yeah, I think at first it was like literally survival. I'm here by myself.
Right.
Like despite being shy, I'm very social. I do like to have a chat. I like talking to people. We're yapping. And like also I credit my service job because there I was like, I can't just ignore a customer. I have to talk to them.
Right.
And you have strangers coming up to you all day. So it's like there was part of that, and then it was like survival, being here by myself. If I want to have a good time, again, it's that you can only control your like how you feel. So it's like survival, fake it till you make it. And then I was like, actually, I quite like this. I enjoy life. I enjoy going out. I enjoy being social. I was just too shy to do it. And so it's that thing of again not letting embarrassment. Like all these things we've been talking about, not letting embarrassment stopping you from doing things that you want to do, like being yourself. And then because you do then find the people and then you just have the best time. And you're just, again, I can't be bothered to be sad. I can't be bothered to feel negative.
No. How long do you feel like it took you from moving here to being like, wait, like I can take a breath.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to hang out with these people. I'm feeling like these friendships are sick.
I would say 1.5 years to finally be like, okay, I'm with people that I really enjoy hanging out with.
Yeah.
And then I would say it took me even until I'm going to say, around, it was last year Pride, is because I had such a fun time. I think that's when I was like, oh, there was people who were not only saying hello to our friends, but also to me. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, actually, there's people who remember. I always just have this, I don't know if it's sad, but I'm always like, people forget me.
You said that to me the other day, and I was like, girl, what are you talking
I
about?
don't know why. I just never feel, maybe because, yeah, from being such a wallflower and kind of making myself forgettable or trying to make myself forgettable, it's just my default to think people forget.
Yeah.
So I've put myself in not uncomfortable situation, but there's been times when I feel like I've been a little rude in forgetting other people because I'm like, well, they're just gonna forget me anyway.
Oh my god.
And then I'll be like, oh, have we met? And they're like, yeah. Like there was
Yo, that
that
happened to me last weekend so bad. I was like, ooh.
And then I'm like, now I'm that person. I was like, oh my god, why have you become?
The tables have turned.
But yeah, I always felt really forgettable and just very much in the background.
Yeah.
So it was a realization of being, oh, actually, no, I'm not forgettable. And I'm comfortable in these friendships that I'm making. And I think it's when you have that first one-on-one hang with someone.
And it works.
And it clicks. And you know, when you like say it as well, and you're like, this is our first one-on-one hangout. You know that? And they're like, yeah, I know.
Well,
it's just so good. And then you're just really like, okay, actually, this is not tick, but you know what I mean? It's like,
it is such a big thing when you're moving somewhere new. I mean, the person on TikTok asked me advice for how to make friends moving abroad. And I literally was like, girl, just do what you like and what makes you happy. And then you're going to find the people eventually that you click with.
mm-hmm.
The second part of the question was how to have patience. There's no way to have patience.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things because like relationships in your community that you build is like the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone's mental health other than self-love and like taking care of yourself, and then eventually it just happens.
I think it's that building of trust. I think that's friendship at its like
100%.
basic level, it's like trusting someone. So if you do have that first date with a friend and it's just you two, quite like to be alone with someone, it's you have to trust
being
them.
vulnerable is wild.
Yeah, I guess it takes you as long to become friends with someone as it does for them to become friends with you. So I think sometimes people can maybe be a bit harsh on themselves, like, why are we not clicking, or why are we not friends? And it's like, yeah, but also you maybe do not get on with that person even though you maybe want to.
I'm sure you felt this too, but this happens to me maybe because I would never classify myself as shy. I'm definitely really outgoing. I think so many times where people say to me, oh, I love hanging out with you. It feels so good. Like, oh, you're so fun. All amazing things to hear.
True.
All so true.
All true as well.
But I'd be like not feeling that same way towards them. And then I feel like, is there something wrong with me? But you can like people.
Yeah.
But not love them. Like there's different relationships. There's acquaintances that we need to have. There's friends and there's best friends. And then there's fucking people that you don't like. And that's also fucking fine. You don't have to be mean to them, but you don't have to like them. And I think there was so much time or so many friendships and things that I was just like not feeling clicky in, but also they're asking me to hang out all the time. Am I like not being grateful enough to the universe if I say no or something? But no, you need to clear out space to welcome in the things that are meant for you. So you keep hanging out with the people that you feel indifferent towards, you're not gonna end up meeting the people that are your best friends too.
I find this sometimes too. People always like, you're so nice and yeah, let's hang out. And I've had conversations with other people about this too. And yeah, I like being nice and I like hanging out with people. But I think for me, if I call you a friend or how I see friendship is it's more than surface level being nice. It's if you were in turmoil or whatever, you can come to me and like chat to me and I can be a listening ear for you and be a soundboard. And for me, because I put so much effort into my friendships, and I want all my friends to be happy and I want them all to at least be able to feel comfortable around me. You can't do that for everyone. It's just like it's actually impossible. I always feel, again, I can be quite cold, and so I wouldn't want to give people these ideas that you can soundboard to me, because like I'm not gonna give you like I have to protect my energy.
You have to protect your energy.
Because I'm lying down. Because I haven't taken it out.
People no, hold that thought. Literally just in the club. You're like, I'm going to be taking it out.
I'm going to be taking it out.
No, I know. I fully agree. And I think that's
fine. I think sometimes it can be a bit mean, but like.
But why is that mean? That's self-care.
Self-care.
That's self-protection.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like if someone's going to come to me crying and be like, go away, you're not my friend.
No, but no, literally me hysterical to everyone constantly. It's like,
go away, Amanda.
I'm an emotional girl and I'm gonna be crying.
I want to give all my friends quality relationships. If you spread yourself too thin,
you just
can't do that.
It's very similar to when I started consulting, which, you know, is a fake job.
Yeah.
I got very overwhelmed by some sort of scarcity mindset vibe, especially because I was like moving to Berlin. So I was like, I need to just take out all the work that I can and just make a ton of money, just blah, blah, blah. And I took on 7 clients or something. And I told 4 or 5 of them that I could work 20 hours a week. You know what I mean?
It's like not that many hours.
If you know, there's
20 times 7.
no. And I was just like, okay, that didn't cross my mind for that to be a bad thing, because my mind was like more money. And you can physically do a great job with all of these clients.
Yeah.
There's no way that one person could be a great consultant in any of the capacity in which they were being hired for that many people, for that many clients. That's just not it. It's very impossible. Similar to the friendship thing.
Yeah.
You can't physically be that great of a friend to that many people. So like you do have to be more picky. And I think that's better too, because I think I've always heard this. I don't know when the first time it was, but like someone said it to me. You're an amalgamation of like the 5 people you spend your most time with. And I was thinking about who I spend my most time with. And then I was like, if someone were to say to me, oh my God, you remind me so much of X. I literally would have been like, I'm offended. And then I was like, whoa. If I would be offended by that, why am I spending time with X?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. And it kind of was like a wake-up call for me. And I'm like happy that happened before I moved here. But then also I feel like it came so quickly to me moving here, where like during this time, I also didn't know anyone. I knew one person. She was going through a really crazy time. She wasn't able to really she wasn't there for herself, so she couldn't possibly be a good friend to me or around so much. And so I felt very like, I don't know anyone here. I'm trying to like scramble and make friends and stuff, and just said yes to everything. Like every single person that asked me to hang out, I was like, yes. But it's like I didn't end up having quality hangs with these people because I wasn't.
You still kind of left empty at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, feel almost sadder than you were before, because you're like, I'm hanging out with all these people and I'm just not gelling. And
literally.
I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Right. And it's not you. You're not listening to your gut. You're not doing the things that you really love to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like judging your friends. I don't think it's judging people in general. It's just not like you get to choose your community and the people you hang out with. So it's might as well be the people that are choosing you in the way that you want to be chosen, that are making you feel butterflies, that you're excited to be their friend. Like, I don't know.
And coming here, I remember going to all these parties, these hardcore techno parties, and I'm like, girlie, what are you doing? You don't even like hardly like techno, let alone these hardcore parties where everyone's wearing harnesses. And you're like, how are you meant to like?
And you're like, I'm not making any friends.
Me and my tracksuit.
Yeah.
I'm like, obviously you're not gonna make any friends here, but you just do get a little bit desperate, or you're just so craving to have that connection with someone that you do anything, and all that kind of reason goes out of your head. You're like,
and then
obviously I'm not gonna find someone I enjoy here. You may, but it's very
so rare. Journaling about this joy thing, or like when you're not looking for things happen. I met some of my favorite people I've met so far here, not going out looking for friends, going out literally just to a party I really wanted to go to, or because I wanted to dance that night. And that's how I've met some of the best people I've met so far. That is kind of the simple lesson of do you, and it will work out. Maybe it's not in a week, maybe it's not in a month, and that's hard. It's hard to have patience in general, but it's the same things with work. Obviously, you don't know exactly, neither of us know exactly what we want to be doing with our lives, but we figured out some things, and each thing we've done that either did or didn't work for us, we're rolling and we're moving towards something else. If I could go back and say one thing or give a little piece of advice to the worst versions of myself, or a part where I really needed a really good advice, what would I say? So what would you say to whatever age that you think you would need to hear it?
So to the 12-year-old, I would actually say, keep on doing what you're doing, girlie. Because I was a little freaky. Like, people even asked what was wrong with me. And my friends were like, there's nothing wrong with her. She's fine.
She's a freak.
She's a freak. But I was just living life, and I was just having fun and like not being bothered to be controversial. So I just say, keep doing what you're doing, girlie. I would actually say that to all myself, and I would say it to myself now.
Yeah.
But I would tell maybe my 20-year-old self, because I was kind of going for it then in uni, I would say actually be a bit more organized and just don't worry about what other people are thinking about you. It will all turn out fine. But I think if I was a little bit more organized and intentional and thought less about what people are thinking, I would probably be a tiny bit more advanced in my life now, which is not a regret per se, because I'm actually very happy right now. I'm also still doing the work, and like you said, the work never ends.
The work never ends.
So I maybe would be on a different path, but I like the path I'm on now, and I think I'm gonna return to the path that I want / maybe would have been if I was a bit more like.
I kind of feel similarly. Like, I think that while everything happened for a reason or was some sort of stepping stone to get me where I am now, I still think what's meant to be at the end is, we're not at the end because there is no end, because it keeps going. The work never ends. But I think what's meant to happen will happen. Everyone's on their own timeline, but also I think I just have to believe if you're doing the work, if you're doing what's best for yourself and you're really thoughtful, trying to grow and be a better human, be a good friend, the things are going to happen. And maybe it would have happened a little bit differently if something else had changed, but maybe if it happened then, you wouldn't have been, whatever it is, like you wouldn't have been ready for it.
Yeah, I think things happen in their own time.
Also, I think kids are weird, and I think keep them weird. Don't beat the weirdness out of them.
Yeah, don't do it.
I loved wearing like skulls, like had Halloween decoration skulls in my room, and like that's weird. But guess what? I still wear so much skull jewelry. Like, I love it.
It's just,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, keep them weird.
Keep them weird.
Do your weird thing.
I was such a nerd. I was a shy nerd when I was younger. And I was never put down for it, but I just knew I was a little weirder than the others. I wish I just was a bit more nerdy now.
Yeah.
And I was more, I think it's also just like TikTok, Instagram, social media destroying our attention span. But I think I just want to be a bit more out and proud with my like watching medieval things on YouTube.
About how they got drunk and stuff.
Yeah.
What you said. But you know what? Maybe that's an intention we're setting. A little bit more weirdness for us.
Yeah.
Let's be fucking crazy. Yeah.